Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Moto. Hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing here in the playoffs for the Truck Series, as well as we got Dover in the Cup Series, the second last race of the regular season. Things are definitely starting to spice up in that playoff grid, as last episode Aric Almirola completely changed everything with picking up the victory at Watkins Glen. We had yet another run-in with Joey Logano, but before we get into the Cup Series side of things, we got the truck race here. I still have yet to change the picture for Hailie Deegan in the Truck Series, as you guys can see, but there's really no point at this point, as I'll be moving her up potentially to the Xfinity Series, but look for an announcement soon on that now as we get ready. So for this time out here in the Truck Series, we had community member Carson Miller in the truck, and he started towards the top 10 here in Gateway, now just outside of the top 10 as he came through turn 1 and 2, but we've had a very strong rookie owner season here in the Truck Series, and Carson was looking to continue that into a strong opener for the playoffs here in Gateway now, as he is going to go up the inside of Austin Hill into turn 3 there and continue to make some moves very early on in this race, as Hailie Deegan found herself leading the race as a Truck Series rookie. She has not actually picked up a victory yet in her rookie season, but right now leads the way at the end of this first and opening lap here in Gateway now, as we go down toward turn 1 behind Zane Smith, and sure enough, Carson would get up the inside of Smith and go 3 wide with him and Johnny Sauter into turn 3 a little bit later on, and he would just continue to make up some time. He had now moved up already into the top 5, and then he would run down the 2 truck of Sheldon Creed, pass him for 4th, and then he would try to set his sights on the drivers up ahead of Stewart Friesen, Grant Enfinger, as well as the driver who still leads, Hailie Deegan, now as he came through a little bit later in this race, and sure enough, he was closing in on the back of Grant Enfinger, but this was now on the final lap of the race here in Gateway, and Hailie Deegan was leading the way out of turn 2 now, as she's looking for her very first top 3 National Series NASCAR win now, as she goes down this back straightaway towards turns 3 for the final time there. Carson Miller goes up the inside of the 98 of Grant Enfinger, and through turns 3 and 4 for the final time there. He actually loses a little bit of momentum on the exit of the corner, but it is Hailie Deegan who will come through to pick up her first Truck Series win here in the number 38 truck now. She crosses the line, and Carson Miller comes through to cross the line there in the 4th position. So a strong effort from Carson here in Gateway. Can't complain about P4. That, of course, only helps us in terms of the playoff situation, which we'll see, of course, what that looks like at the end of the video. But we have some breaking news. Just after Deegan picked up the win, Stewart HAAS Racing announces that Hailie Deegan will be moving up to the Xfinity Series next season in the career mode, replacing Todd Gilliland in the 98 car. As you guys know, Todd Gilliland has had an incredible rookie season in the Xfinity Series and will be replacing Ryan Newman in the Cup Series next season in the career mode. So Deegan will be moving up to Xfinity, and my plan really is to keep her there for at least 2 seasons. She moves up from 1 season in the Truck Series, and hopefully will, like I said, the plan is to just kind of have her do 2 seasons in the Xfinity Series. As we come through to see what happened at Dover in the Xfinity Series, Michael Annett picked up the victory now, as the star car was up there in P20, and at the very bottom we had Joe Nemechek. So that was just kind of the overview of Dover in the Xfinity Series. Now as we get ready to get underway here on the Cup Series side of things, the second final race of the regular season here. So far this season, 4 wins for us. We've had the most wins in the regular season of any driver, and it's still almost a bit of a shock that we're getting dropped from this team. But obviously we know we're going to, in my opinion, a team that's even better than Joe Gibbs Racing, and that is Hendrick Motorsports. So very excited to get that next season underway now as we come through. In qualifying, the goal was a 23.269. We come through to cross the line. We beat the goal with a 23.214, and we qualify a very solid 7th place here at Dover. So already feeling very confident going into this race. The last time we came to Dover, we struggled, so I definitely made some changes coming into this one there. As you see, Denny Hamlin and our other team at Martin Truex Jr. on P1 and P2 now, as Austin Dillon down there in P16, Kurt Busch in P20, Kyle Busch all the way down there in 23rd, I think it said there, and then at the very bottom we got Timmy Hill as we get ready to go green here in Dover. Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott will now be the front row, as Denny Hamlin actually crashed during qualifying, apparently after he crossed the line, and will be starting at the back of the field. So Hamlin loses the pole, but I didn't bother showing the playoff grid at this point because you guys know after Almirola winning in the last episode, Everybody below the cut line has to win to get into the playoffs. That's the only way anybody else can get in right now. So we're going to get ready to take the green flag. There's, you see, Noah Gragson. He failed technical inspection. Another driver that I actually don't have a picture for in the game, but that will be changed next season as well when he moves over to the one car in Chip Ganassi Racing. Now, as we're going to get ready to go green from the 6th position now, as the second final race of the regular season is underway, as Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott lead us to the green flag. Alex Bowman, Joey Logano on that second row, and Eric Jones and myself on row number 3 here. As we go down into turn 1 behind us, we got Tyler Reddick as well as Brad Keselowski. Look for a driver like Denny Hamlin to work his way through the field pretty quickly now. As we know, he qualified on pole originally, but starting at the back of the field now as we go down into turn 3. Truex immediately goes up to the top and might be already handing the lead away to Alex Bowman in that 48 car, who's still looking for his first win of the season. Now, it was our rookie season last season he didn't actually pick up a victory, so he's still only a one-time winner here in the Cup Series right now as we come through out of turn 2 there, almost into the outside wall as we go down this back straightaway side by side with the 23 car of Bubba Wallace. A nice improvement right now from that 23 team, who's having a strong run here in the first couple laps now, as he's going to pass me for 7th and then get up the inside of Tyler Reddick, another driver that's having a solid run here in Dover as we go down into turn 1. Alex Bowman, though, out front at this point now. Is actually, I should mention, he has 2 wins because he picked up that Auto Club win before NASCAR Heat 5 did release. Now, as we go down this front straightaway, though, up the inside now of Ryan Blaney, we'll be able to get past him as we came through on lap 5 and then get to the inside of Joey Logano. We were 3 wide with Logano on the exit of turn 4, doing my best to not run into him because I do not really want to make Logano mad, as he's already upset enough with us right now, especially after last episode in Watkins Glen when we just completely took him out in the bus stop. Eric Jones there just in front of us in that 7th position, as we would be able to get up the inside of him, and sure enough into turn 3 on lap 7 we would now take over that 7th position from Eric Jones as Martin Truex Jr. He had actually retaken the lead. Tyler Reddick was now into 2nd, but once I got past that 88 of Jones, I started to get a move on it a bit. I now was able to run down the 9 of Chase Elliott, who's having a solid run here in Dover, but we would pass him, take over P6, and Bubba Wallace up there in P5 having a great run. He would actually go for a pass on the 4 car of Kevin Harvick, and now Bubba Wallace up into P4. I get up the inside of Kevin here, try to move into the top 5. Sure enough, on lap 11 into turn 1, I would be able to make that pass on Harvick, and Kyle Busch was actually now on my back bumper, putting a lot of pressure on, so a bunch of speed there from the 18 car who qualified in the mid-20s. I didn't think he was going to be a threat at all, but here he is putting a lot of pressure on myself as we go down into turn 1, up the inside now of the 23 of Bubba Wallace, who's trying to make that outside line work. As we exit turn 2, I slip up a bit there as Kyle Busch took advantage, immediately went to my inside. He passes myself, enters the top 5, goes up the inside of Bubba into turn 3, makes a pass on him, and now we got the 41 of Cole Custer breathing down my neck as well as we exit turn 4 nearly into the side of the 23 of Bubba Wallace, our affiliate teammate, with 6 laps to go already here in stage 1 is Martin Truex Jr. He's trying to hold on to the lead, and that gets a little bit easier for him because the caution just came out now, and we are going to get ready for a restart. And you see some drivers pitting there: Chase Elliott, Chris Buescher, Harrison Burton, Christopher Bell, some of our affiliate teammates there, and our future teammate of Chase Elliott, David Reagan as well. So I'm not sure who brought out the caution there, but either way, we will stay out here and try to get as many points as we can today in this race, actually lock up the regular season championship if we just beat Hamlin by a decent amount of positions, and right now we are successfully doing that. So Martin Truex Jr. and Tyler Reddick will lead the way back to the green flag now, as it's going to be just 3 laps to go here in this first and opening stage. And on row 2, we got Alex Bowman and Kyle Busch. And then on row 3, it's Bubba Wallace on the inside, and then myself. And then we got the 2 Stewart HAAS teammates behind us who just got taken 3 wide by Kurt Busch in that 1 car. The Chip Ganassi driver, not afraid to be aggressive in his final season of his Cup Series career now, as we're side by side with that 23 of Bubba Wallace into turn 3. Very happy to see some improvement out of that 23 car. I knew it was coming. I told you guys there was going to be some improvements here and there from that 23 car later in the season, and we're starting to see a glimpse of that as he takes it 3 wide into turn 1 with Kyle Busch as well as the 8 of Tyler Reddick, as I now lose the position to the 1 car of Kurt Busch, but try to fight back. I'm sideways on the exit of turn 2. I was pretty much power sliding through the whole exit of the corner, and we make it work as Tyler Reddick, he is now starting to fall down the order a bit as we're coming through to the final lap of stage 1. Sideways again there, we save it. Bowman and Truex side by side for the stage lead and potential stage victory as we go down into turn 1 on this final lap here in stage 1. And now Cole Custer gets up my inside as we exit turn 2 into the left rear quarter panel there of the 8 of Reddick. Fortunately, nothing happens out of that as we go down into turn 3 for the final time into the side of the 41 now, as he's actually going to go sideways and spinning through turn 3 off now the front bumper again of the 3 of Austin Dillon. The caution comes out as we come through to cross the line, and now Martin Truex Jr. gets credited, I think, with the stage victory. It looks like it was indeed, yes, Martin Truex Jr. with the stage victory. Please apologize to Cole there. I just misjudged my entrance there. That was all on me. There you hear me telling the team there to apologize to Cole Custer. Definitely, I did not mean to do that. I just turned in. I was trying to get in under him, and unfortunately, I clipped him in the right rear quarter panel. Wasn't expecting him to lose so much control, but very unfortunate, and it was all my fault all around now. So I would make a few minor adjustments on the pit lane there, putting the tire pressures on the right sides down just a little bit, about half a pound I think it was, and we'll get ready to take the green flag here in stage 2. And the drivers that came into the pit lane under the last caution are now staying out for this caution. So now Chase Elliott moves up Chris Buescher to the lead, actually, as he had a chance to win recently and try and beat Kyle Busch for that win. I think it was at Michigan. Unfortunately, a caution by his own teammate Ryan Newman ended his chances at victory. Now he has to win, of course, to get into the playoffs as we are underway for the start of the second stage. And you can see immediately it's a lot more laps, almost 20 more laps here in stage 2, and I now go 3 wide up the inside of Tyler Reddick, and we make a pass on him, so we're now up to P13 side by side with the 99 car of Daniel Suarez. Another team I would expect to potentially see some R&D improvements out of, especially if that RCR team can make some more improvements as well as we exit turn 4. Right behind that 23 of Bubba Wallace. Denny Hamlin, who originally was on the pole, is now past us as we go down into turn 1, and so far this restart is not in favor of us at all as we're 3 wide with Tyler Reddick on the exit of turn 2, almost into that right rear quarter panel of the 23, as we're going to be 3 wide with Bubba Wallace and Eric Almirola into turn 3. Now a little bit of contact between myself and Bubba there as we're kind of fighting for the same amount of room as we exit turn 4, still 3 wide as we go down the front straightaway. So we have now fallen down to P20 as we go down into turn 1 on lap 3 of the second stage here. So still a lot of time to go, but definitely not the start of stage 2. We were looking for some contact now with the 6 of Newman. I'm being aggressive, trying to get forwards. I see an opportunity there to get in behind the 23 above us, so I took it, and immediately you see the improvements of being on this bottom lane. We passed Keselowski. They were 4 wide behind us for a moment now, and then we would sure enough continue to follow Bubba past these drivers that stayed out, like Chase Elliott as well as Christopher Bell. Now as Tyler Reddick nearly got up my inside as we exit turn 4, but we are now back up into the 14th position. So now trying to chase down Bubba Wallace as we would sure enough get up the inside of him into turn 3 now on lap 5 of the second stage. And we might be actually 3 wide with Bubba and the 21 of De Benedetto. Sure enough, there's a little bit more contact now as the caution actually comes up for the second time here today in Dover there, as we just barely took 13th place away from Bubba Wallace. So now we will be staying out again as Kyle Busch actually now leads the way in this race, and we saw the true pace from that 18 car, and he's showing it right now as he continues to be out front now as we get ready to go green here for what will be probably about lap 9 or 10 of stage 2. As you see Timmy Hill, he currently finds himself still at the bottom of the field now as we get ready to go green from, fortunately, the inside lane, as it's the Busch brother duo right now on the front row. Alex Bowman and Kevin Harvick on row number 2 as the green flag is back out as we get underway to still a solid 28 laps to go in stage 2, and if it stays green for the rest of the stage, we will have to make a green flag pit stop. And now I'm thinking, you know what, if we would have pitted there, we probably could have made it to the end of stage 2, I think. But I did not really think about that at the time now as we come through out of turn 2 side by side as we go down this back straightaway right behind that 17 of Chris Buescher. Kyle Busch and Alex Bowman get away in P1 and P2. Now as we're still side by side with that 21 of Matt DiBenedetto, 3 wide actually as we exit turn 4, and he's going to be able to get ahead of me as we go down towards turns 1, but we will continue this fight with him as we came through now on lap 10 of the stage out of turn 4, doing my best to clear the 21 of DiBenedetto, but I was struggling to make this pass as we go down into turn 1 there, doing my best to make it happen, but he was doing such a good job pinning me down right here, and I was really realizing that if a driver is able to pin me down on that inside, I have a really tough time making a pass. So definitely something we have to keep in mind for later as we go down into turn 3. Wasn't really sure how I was going to quite combat that, but definitely got to come up with some ideas now as we go down this front straightaway. Now we would force it 3 wide up the inside between Blaney and Joey Logano into turn 3 now on lap 12, and closing in now on a top 10 running position as we exit turn 4. Logano to our right side, a little bit of contact there between myself and Logano as now Custer forces us 3 wide into turn 1 now, as Logano probably not going to be very happy about that contact as we exit turn 2. Did not mean to do that, I just kind of got messed up there as we came through now into turn 3, up again the inside of Ryan Blaney. Now as Tyler Reddick's going to get up my inside, as I did clip that apron as we exit turn 4, having to get out of the throttle to make sure we don't cause an issue with that 12 car, and sure enough we fall down to P13 again, so we come through to lap 15 in the second stage, up again the inside of the 12 of Ryan Blaney. We've been really having a tough time completing a pass on Ryan Blaney now as we go down through turns 3 and 4, but fortunately we clear him, and then we would set our sights towards that top 10. We get up the inside of Bubba Wallace and we clear him with no problem at all, and now we move up into P11. Tyler Reddick, he was moving his way forwards as well, but I would get up the inside of him. We passed Kevin Harvick, I should mention, to get back into the top 10. Now I get up the inside of Reddick. Kyle Busch, he was still leading at this point as we exit turn 4. Now we still have 20 laps to go here in stage 2, a very long second stage. It might even be longer than the final stage as we clear the 8 car of Reddick for P9, and then get up the inside of our teammate Martin Truex Jr., and we're going to be able to take the 8th position away from him. So we get to the back of Daniel Suarez there in the number 99 car, who's having a great run here today in that number 99 Trackhouse car, as we are now going to pass him through turns 3 and 4. He tries to pin me down, doesn't quite work, so we take over P7 and continue to just run these drivers in front of us down between Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin, who were battling it out for 5th and 6th. And sure enough, as you see the laps going on, we're closing that gap quite significantly to Kurt Busch. So I get to the back of him at the end of lap 21, and we make a move up the inside immediately into turn 1. He pins me down, just like I mentioned some other drivers doing before, and immediately it gets a lot harder to complete a pass as we exit turn 2, getting a little bit sideways nearly into the side of Kurt, but fortunately I was able to complete the pass on the exit of turn 4. So now we run down Denny Hamlin here, and I realize we got to pit very soon here if a caution does not come out within the next couple laps. So I try to make a move up the inside now of Hamlin into turn 3 on lap 25, and I decided if I can't make this pass within the next lap, we're just going to have to pull in behind Hamlin and get ready to come into the pit lane. So we exit turn 4. I'm really trying hard to make this pass because we got to come into the pit lane this lap likely as we go down into turn 1 with 12 laps to go here in the stage. The field light has come on as we come through the center of the corner out of turn 2. Can't complete the pass, so I get in behind the 11 of Hamlin now as we go down into turn 3, and now we are going to come into the pit lane here as we have a bit of a moment there, nearly getting hit by the 8 car of Reddick. We actually get in front of Hamlin and get down to pace speed without any issues now, so we come into the pit lane to take 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 tires. So a really easy call to make now as they put the left side tires on now, and it's going to be overall a pretty good pit stop, it looks like, because Kyle Busch is just going now, and we're coming out, but we actually get into the side of the 13 of Ty Dillon, who drove into his pit box, unfortunately at the worst time possible, so that actually costed us a little bit of time to Kyle Busch, but we still are able to beat Denny Hamlin out of the pit lane, so we actually lost about a second and a half to the leader of Kyle Busch over the course of that incident right there with the 13 of Ty Dillon, which was just a very awkward time for the 13 to come into his pit box, but we would just keep our focus forwards and get to the 48 now of Alex Bowman, who was kind of struggling in lap traffic. So we go into turn 3, approaching 3 laps to go here in stage 2, and we take over the 4th position away from that 48 of Alex Bowman, and there was no chance I was going to run down 3rd place at this point. So we come through to start the final lap here of the 2nd stage, and Kyle Busch, this whole final run after the pit stop, he just continued to just open up the gap between himself and I now as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here in the 2nd stage into turn 3. Kyle was about half a straightaway ahead, or half a track ahead almost, it felt like, as we come through out of turns 4. We are going to come through though to get a top 5 here on the 2nd stage, so very solid now as that felt, that 2nd stage felt like it took ages now as Chase Briscoe and Cole Custer find themselves in P2 and P3. Honestly, guys, I don't think the car is a 4th place car, but I mean, I'm glad we got 4th out of it now as we're in good shape here. There you heard myself over the radio, and if we can just have a decent finish here in this 3rd and final stage, we will lock up the regular season championship over Denny Hamlin now, as we would come into the pit lane again for 2 cans of fuel, as well as 4 tires. A very easy call to make as we're going to get ready to go green for this 3rd and final stage here in Dover. As you see the rest of the running order, Timmy Hill is your DNF so far this race as we gain 2 positions on the pit lane. Kyle Busch has a terrible pit stop. He's not even in the top 10. So now Briscoe and myself are on the front row here, so that completely changes everything as Kyle could get stuck in traffic. It is going to be now 39 laps to go here in the final stage, so only one extra lap compared to stage 2, so we kind of got to treat it the same as that second stage. Be prepared for a green flag pit stop now as we come through turns 1 and 2. Immediately Briscoe blows the doors off my car, and the 41 of Cole Custer gets up alongside myself as we go down towards turn 3. Blaney and Bowman in 4th and 5th just behind us, and now Custer clears me. Blaney gets up my inside as well as we exit turn 4 now as Briscoe leads the first lap of this third and final stages. We're relatively even with Blaney into turn 1 now as Briscoe leaves the door open for Cole Custer, who is in a must-win situation. Now as we're sliding there on the exit of turn 2, making a nice save, but there you see Briscoe losing the lead to his teammate Cole Custer. Now could he be helping his teammate? I don't know, because Briscoe, he's got 2 wins this season. He's locked into the playoffs. Custer, he has to win his way into the playoffs. Now he is now the only Stewart HAAS racing driver without a win this season, and the only Stewart HAAS racing driver that's not in the playoffs. So he tries to open up that gap immediately now as we have a second place battle between Ryan Blaney as well as Briscoe. Is now Bowman. He was able to get up my inside, but Kyle Busch is already here. He's up to my inside, and he's going to pass us with absolutely no problem at all as we exit turn 4. So definitely, clearly that 18 is not going to be affected too much from that bad pit stop, because he immediately passes the 48 of Alex Bowman as well as I try to follow up the inside through turns 1 and 2, and Kyle forces a 3 wide up the inside of Briscoe as well as Ryan Blaney, and he's going to already move into the second position. So Kyle Busch has an absolute rocket right now with that 18 car, and he is going to run down that 41 of Cole Custer very quick as we're still side by side here with that 48 of Alex Bowman. He saw a nice save after I clipped the apron, but we continue this side by side battle with Bowman into turn 1 on lap 69. Nice at this point, and finally we will clear the 48 of Alex Bowman as Kyle Busch has run down the 41 of Cole Custer, and he is going to very well likely be able to pass him, but actually he would get into a battle with Chase Briscoe, who got back up into the mix, so he's going to fall down to P3 as we go up the inside of Blaney, and I had clipped the apron again. Hamlin is trying to force it up my inside. I kind of closed the door on him, but we exit turn 4 in that left rear quarter panel of the 12, and now Hamlin gets up my inside as we go down into turn 1. Some contact between myself and my teammate of Denny Hamlin, so now we're dropping positions. The 19 goes by as well, and the 8 of Reddick, he was trying to get to my outside, but immediately a fight back to the inside of Martin Truex Jr., and we will retake the position from him and then get again the inside of Ryan Blaney and try to pass him for P5. And sure enough, as we go down into turn 1 with 27 laps to go, we complete the pass on Blaney, but Kyle Busch has lost some ground to the front 2 runners of Custer as well as Chase Briscoe, so he has some work to do if he wants to get himself back out front. So we come through now out of turn 2 on lap 76. We had run down Hamlin again, and now we will try to complete that pass on him as we go down into turn 3 as Cole Custer continues to lead the way, but immediately Hamlin pinches me down, and I would struggle very hard to complete the pass as we exit turn 4 on lap 77. Couldn't quite make it happen, so we come through out of turn 4 now on lap 81. Kyle back into second place as Briscoe, he had fallen all the way back towards us now as we have Corey LaJoie spinning in the corner, and that's going to bring out a caution now as he gets hit by David Reagan as well as John Hunter Nemechek now as a caution is out here on lap 80 in Dover with about 20 laps to go. So everybody coming to the pit lane. I didn't know quite what would be the right call here, but I decided to put 4 tires on it based on the tire wear. The best tire we had was at 61. That was the wrong call. We lose 9 positions, so that indicates probably the other drivers took 2 tires, but Kyle Busch gets the lead on the pit stop. So that was very disappointing for us now as we have to make up all that ground with only 16 laps to go. But fortunately, we have the fresh tire advantage as the inside lane does not get going at all. Kyle Busch had a terrible restart, and he loses the lead immediately to Cole Custer, and Hamlin takes over second. So Kyle down to P3, which was not surprising because when we cut back to our POV after that crash, Kyle was actually right up in the mix. So my assumption was he actually ran into the back of Corey LaJoie or something, or at least ran into the back of someone, and now he is under attack from Chase Briscoe as we're up the inside of the 3 of Austin Dillon with 15 laps to go as we try to re-enter the top 10. But now Briscoe trying to get to the inside of his teammate Cole Custer as we exit turn 2 of the inside of the 23 of Bubba Wallace now as we go down towards turns 3 behind that 4 car of Kevin Harvick. But Kyle Busch is now outside of the top 5. He drops down to P6 as we exit turn 4, sliding there in front of Bubba, but we have now re-entered the top 10, slicing to the inside of the 2014 Cup Series champion of Kevin Harvick. second. We get to the back of Kyle Busch as we go down into turn 1, and honestly, I felt like if I can pass Kyle Busch, I can go and win this race. So we clear the 18 of Kyle Busch for P7, immediately get to the inside of the 48 of Alex Bowman into turn 3, and now we will take over the 6th position away from him as we are approaching 10 laps to go. As Briscoe, he would take the lead from Custer. I get into the top 5, get to the inside of Hamlin. There was one thing in the back of my mind, was I was seeing Kyle Busch following me through this traffic, which was a little bit concerning, knowing that if we get just between myself and Kyle, he is probably going to be faster than me. Now as I get up inside of Tyler Reddick, we pass him into turn 3, and he's going to try and pinch me down a little bit on the exit of turn 4, but I had that fresh tire advantage, and I'm able to clear him, and now we would try to set our sights on Custer and Briscoe. So we come through to 9 laps to go when we get on the inside of Cole Custer, who leaves the door just wide open for myself. So we will clear him for second on the exit of turn 2, and I was hoping he would hold off Kyle Busch without a problem. Now as we try to run down that 14 of Briscoe, we would do just that on the end of lap 93, coming to lap 94. 7 laps to go here in Dover. And you notice right there, the 48 of Alex Bowman coming out of the pit lane, he had issues, actually blew an engine, came in and somehow fixed the engine, so he comes back on the track as we would continue in this fight with Briscoe, and unfortunately, I was having a really tough time getting up the inside of him and passing him. He was pinching me down very well, and that brings none other than Kyle Busch right into the mix, which was extremely concerning as we were approaching now 5 laps to go here in Dover as I'm trying to complete that pass on the 14 of Briscoe, but of course, he's not going to give up easily, looking for his 3rd win in just his rookie season. Now as we're side by side towards turns 1, Kyle Busch is going to force a 3 wide into turn 1 for the lead, and I slide up a little bit now as Kyle Busch goes through and takes over the lead here in Dover as we're still side by side with Briscoe, and I know I need to complete this pass ASAP because we need to try and run down that 18 of Kyle Busch, and sure enough, on the exit of turn 4, we will be able to clear the 14 car of Chase Briscoe and now set our sights again on our teammate of Kyle, and sure enough, with 3 laps to go, we had run him back down, just kind of that tire advantage really coming into play as we try to get up the inside of him going into turn 3. We know how hard it was to pass Briscoe when he was leading, and it's probably going to be the same thing here with Kyle Busch as we exit turn 4, coming to 2 laps to go. Some contact between myself and Kyle as we go down this front straightaway. 2 laps to go here as we go down into turn 1, trying to get up the inside of him there at all costs, but I can't quite make it happen right there as we exit turn 2, right on that back bumper of Kyle now as we push him down the straightaway. I'm trying to just send him into turn 3, and unfortunately that doesn't work out either now as he actually opens up the gap a little bit now as we come to the center of the corner. I hit the apron as we exit turn 4, coming to the white flag, and that might be it right there as Kyle Busch leads the way. I might have just completely blown my chances away as we go down into turn 1 and 2 for the final time. We really need to nail the exit here out of turns 2, and we get a solid corner. We go down the back straightaway, we gain some ground, but it clearly is not going to be enough as we go down into turn 3. One last dash as I send it into the corner, running into the back of the 18, but it's not going to be enough. Kyle Busch will hang on for the win here in Dover as we come through runner-up in the 2nd position there as Chase Briscoe comes through in P3, Hamlin 4th, and Cole Custer rounds out the top 5. So disappointing for Custer, who had a chance to win his way in, and unfortunately for him, it's not going to happen now as was, like I said, doing everything I could there to try and pick up the victory, and unfortunately it did not work out. But we've been really fortunate to even be kind of in the mix to battle it out for victories this season, but one fortunate thing out of this is we have indeed locked up the regular season championship. So the first time, I think, since I've even started a NASCAR Heat Career Mode series in general on my channel, we have won the regular season championship. There, as you see, the playoff standings now for the Truck Series going into my home track of Canada in the next episode. Hailie Deegan, she's the only one locked in right now with her very first victory in the Truck Series. Of course, with the announcement, of course, of her going to the 98 car now in the Xfinity Series next season. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out, replacing Todd Gilliland, who currently leads the playoff standings on the Xfinity side of things, as we will have Daytona in the next episode. Not the regular season finale for Xfinity, but it will be the regular season finale for the Cup Series with us, as it will be the last chance for everybody outside of that cut line to win their way in. Now, as anything can happen at Daytona, I'm expecting a crazy race. Now, as I haven't recorded that one yet, so I don't know what's going to be like, but Blaney, Jones, Bowman, currently the last 3 drivers in the playoffs on points, and they will all be fine if there is no new winner now, as Cole Custer would basically basically have to finish second in stage 1, 2, and 3 to even have a chance of pointing his way in. So, as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Logano is now only 1 bar away from being a rival, so we need to keep that in mind, especially going into a track like Daytona. So it's going to be interesting in the next one to see how that plays out. And of course, before we end it, just want to say thank you to the Go On Racing members of MJ, Aiden, Eric, Dylan, as well as Joseph 9001. So thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.